I am here in a guest bedroom that literally only has a bed without anything on it because, you know, my room is just boring and, you know, I thought I'd switch it up. So I'm here with my August wrap-up today and not really September TBR. So this is basically a booktubeathon wrap-up as well because literally I read all the books I read in August were either during booktubeathon or there was one more that I didn't read during booktubeathon because I was in like a reading slump. So this is going to be short and fun and yay. First book I read in August was In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I gave it 3.75 stars. This is a mystery thriller about a girl named Leo, and she goes to her former best friend's hen party, which is basically a bachelorette party, I guess. And some mysterious things start going down. There's footsteps, or there shouldn't be footsteps. The door magically gets unlocked, and when a murder happens, Leo is the main suspect. It's not that good. It was a mediocre thriller, but still enjoyable. Yeah, it was just meh. And then The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, I gave 3.5 stars. I really didn't enjoy this book very much. It's basically, I think, set in the 60s. It's basically about like social justice and like, it's so windy. Issues with poverty versus people who have more money, and teenagers growing up in different lifestyles. But I didn't like it. It was boring. The writing was bad. I didn't enjoy it. I know it's like a classic teenage YA book, and I just didn't like it. So whatever. And then, you see, everything just goes downhill. First book, 3.75. Second, 3.5. The third book I read is Go Ask Alice. 3 stars. Such an odd book. Like, I get what I was trying to do. It's basically a PSA on why not to do drugs, why not to ever try drugs, any drugs. Make sure you know where you are, what you're doing at parties. Basically, the whole book is written in diary entries by this anonymous girl. What's her? Alice. Is her name even Alice? I don't think her name is Alice. Is her name Alice? Don't remember. I didn't like it. I got what it was trying to do, and what it did, it kind of scared me out of drugs, which was already like anti-drugs, but it was even more. But it wasn't a good story, and it was just a lot of really like mature violence and like graphic scenes that like it wasn't written well enough to include that. I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. 3 stars. Then I listened to Anne of Avonlea by Ellen Montgomery, which I gave 4.5 stars, which is the second book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I love Anne of Green Gables. Love Anne of Avonlea as well. So good, about this orphan girl named Anne and her like adventures in her new house with the Cuthbert siblings, and I just love it so much. And then I read Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLera, which I also gave 4.5 stars. This is about a girl who gets an assignment at the beginning of, I'm literally like, I look like I'm twitching mostly because my hair is in my eyes, but I also don't want it to look that bad, so you know. Basically, like I said, Ava DeLera wrote this beautiful book, basically Perks of Being a Wallflower, but like pretty good. I really like it. It's still a little different, but it was very similar in my opinion. It's about this girl whose sister has recently died, and she gets an assignment in high school in her English class to write a letter to someone who has passed away, and she picks Kurt Cobain because her sister really loved Nirvana and his music and what he stood for, and then she kind of continues to write to other dead people that she admires and that her sister admired, to eventually help her get over and cope with the death of her sister. And I really enjoyed it. Made me really in tune with like different singers and stuff that she wrote to, or like other people, made me learn a lot about them, and made me extremely interested in them because she did say a lot of facts that I wasn't aware of, and I was just really intrigued the entire time. So definitely recommend it, especially if you like The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's very similar, but also different and good in its own way. And then the last book I read for Booktubeathon was Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider, which I gave 4.25 stars. Basically a The Fault in Our Stars knockoff, but better because I don't really like John Green's writing. I don't like John Green's characters. Extraordinary Means is about these kids in modern day life who get a strand of tuberculosis that cannot be cured. This is obviously fictional. This is not something that can happen to you. But it did make me, my sort of hypochondriac self, think I had tuberculosis for a little while. So I just, trigger warning if you have an issue with reading about other illnesses, things like that. Because it really did affect me. But I really enjoyed it. The writing was really good. The characters were so fun to read about. They live in a sanatorium for kids, they're all teenagers and like young adults that have this strand of tuberculosis, and they either die there or they get better and they get to go home. And the main character makes friends, and just like the whole thing is just really interesting. And like literally, if you liked Fault in Our Stars, read it. This is better. And if you don't like John Green's writing or characters, but you like the idea of his books, read Extraordinary Means. It's so good. And then last book I read in August was Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han, which I gave 4.75 stars. It was my favorite out of all of them. It also wrecked me. This is the third installment of the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series, which I wish was more than a trilogy, but it's just a trilogy. It did end on a good note, and I think that if she tried to make more of it, it would kind of drag on. But I love this book. It's To All the Boys I've Loved Before is about a girl named Lara Jean who writes letters to all the major crushes she's ever had on a boy. And then they get mailed out, and she's not sure how, and she has to deal with the repercussions, and ends up in a fake dating situation. That's my favorite trope. My second favorite trope, so good. So those are the books I read in August. I only read 7. Did I read 7 books in August, which is a little on the lower side of how much I usually read, but I think that's okay. I was a little burnt out after Booktubeathon. Currently on my 65th book for the year, and my goal is 75, and it's only September, so I think I'm doing okay. But now for my TBR, which I decided I'll just kind of like quickly name them because I don't have a very set TBR during the school year, especially these first months of the school year, which is going really good, by the way. Freshman year, amazing. Pretty fun. Choir's great. Math sucks. I usually love math. This year, math, I don't want to. Anyways, that's my mini update. So, in September, I need to read the rest of my summer TBR books, which I don't remember what all of them are at the top of my head, and I don't have my bullet journal with me right now. But I'm currently reading Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, which is one of those books, and I'm really enjoying it, so hopefully I finish it soon. And then I think I have 2 more or maybe 3 more books that I haven't read yet that were on my summer TBR, and since summer ends on September 22nd, I need to read them by then. And then I really want to read The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, which is the first book in the Chaos Walking series. I was supposed to read it last month because the Mellifluous Book Club theme was to read a book with more than 500 pages, and I really didn't read anything but the Booktubeathon books last month, and so that kind of sucked. But I'm going to read it this month, hopefully. It's really long, like I said, over 500 pages, and I'm still getting used to, like, school. And then the other book I want to read is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, because it's the last book in the Raven cycle, and I'm really scared to read it. I have an issue reading the last book in a series, especially one that I like absolutely love, because it scares me and it makes me really sad when it's over, and then I tend to get in a reading slump, which kind of sucks. But there is a TV series coming out, I don't know when, and then there's also books about Ronan, a spin-off series someday soon, so hopefully those are good, and I won't have to wait too long for those. But yeah, and then what else? Oh, I'm currently listening to the audiobook of Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray, which I think I've been reading since May. It's such a long audiobook, but I've been slowly making my way through it, so hopefully soon I'll finish that as well. So yeah, I feel like I'm talking really fast, really loud, louder than usual, but I'm home alone, except there's also a window in front of me where it's literally like the front of my house, people can see. But there's nobody outside right now. There was earlier, and I was just like, screw it. Alright, so those are the 7 books I read in August, and the few books I can think of that I need to finish in September. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you later. Please subscribe if you haven't already. 80% of my watch time on my channel is from those of you that aren't subscribed, so like, come on, man. I'm almost to 300. I would love to get to 300 by the end of September. And so yeah, that'd be great. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for being lit. Bye.